All right, welcome to another matchup of the 270 Competitive League. Today we have a heavyweight matchup. The heavyweights will have 5 minutes per turn. We are actually down to 8 competitors in the heavyweight division. We had one person drop out. Today our players will be playing in the A tier. Let's see who they're playing as. We have Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, playing as Eisenhower, versus Zach, aka Donut Glazer, playing as Trump 24. Here are the current heavyweight rankings. Not a ton of games played so far. Zach is 1-0, and Erik is 0-0. Let's get into the action. Let's end turn 1 and see what we got. We will have a slower paced game today. I'm guessing Erik, the Ecuadorian farmer, known to take time each turn, really think about every turn. We have Eisenhower entering into big conservative. We got a clash right away, so a national group showdown to start things off here. Let's review what happened there with these national groups. So Erik, the Ecuadorian farmer, went 1 pip into big conservative. Zach, aka Donut Glazer, 2 pips into evangelical, and then we had a gun lobby clash. We'll see if we have more back and forth in national group or if someone will enter any states this turn. This is Erik's first game, so he is not yet ranked. Erik, when we had the voting process for which players went to each division, Erik, the Ecuadorian farmer, was the only one to be unanimously voted into the heavyweight division, so you could easily say that he is a favorite to be in the top 2 ranked and to play for the first ever 270 Competitive League Heavyweight Championship. Erik gets the big conservative bonus, and Zach gets the evangelical bonus. So neither player goes back to that gun lobby national group. 65K bonus for Erik playing as Eisenhower, and a 50.6K bonus for Zach playing as Trump 24. Let's look at their stats. So, Erik playing as Eisenhower. Good amount of bonuses here. These are A-tier candidates, so these are good candidates. You can see why he went for big conservative and gun lobby, both big bonuses, locking in that big conservative. And let's look at Trump 24. Also big gun lobby there. And he got that 35% increase in the evangelical bonus. We'll see if gun lobby comes into play, if one of these players want an advantage in national groups, or if we're going to enter into the states. This is the first time I'm trying to record a matchup on my phone. The computer that I've used since trying to stream or record 270 games is just so slow. And there's cool features on it where I won't have that access on my phone, but trying to get matchups loaded and how laggy they were at times, we're trying the phone method. So we'll see how it works. We got a slight cash advantage right now for Zach. Zach looking to pick up his second win and climb the ranks. Right now, the aggressive, progressive Rishav is 3-0, So he is in the lead and looking right now to be a contender for that first ever 270 competitive league heavyweight championship. And one of these two players could easily be facing the aggressive progressive Rishov. As you can see, we're only on turn 3, but these heavyweights getting that 5-minute timer, using a lot of it here already. Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, again known for using up that clock. I don't think he's ever admitted it, but players have always said that it's a psychological game. Using up that clock makes his opponents impatient. I've had it happen to me. Erik is definitely a heavyweight because I have seen him destroy other people that are in my division, the bruiserweight division, and just recently he destroyed me. And that psychological aspect of using that 5-minute timer definitely gets to you. You have more time. Yes, you have more time to think, but sometimes you have more time to overthink and question your moves. And that anticipation of where he's going to go can get in your head. As we're dropping down to just 1 minute left in this 3-minute timer, or in this 5-minute timer in turn 3. And here we go. Florida, we have 2 pips for Zach, 1 pip for Erik. Gun Lobby is taken by Zach as Erik gets set up in the Old South and swing. So Gun Lobby gives Zach an additional 36.2 thousand. He saw that deficit there he had between evangelical and big conservative and decided, hey, let's get the advantage in national groups. So we nearly had a clash in Florida, but we don't, because Zach, the donut Glazer, goes 2 pips, spends 200K, while Erik, the Ecuadorian farmer, just goes 1. Cash balance is basically even at this point. You see that Erik went into Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana, and Michigan. He does not have enough money to go for swing right now, but there's no challenge in Old South right now, so look for him to pick up Old South or possibly challenge Florida. Quicker turn this time. No challenge in Florida. It's to the 3rd for Zach. We're going to see Old South go to Erik as he gets to the 3rd pip in those Old South states and enters in. We have a clash in Pennsylvania. We're going to have a swing state clash, as we typically do. Swing state's such an important battle. So Old South is picked up there by Erik playing as Eisenhower. He gets 47.5K in bonus money. I should make clear that's in addition to the 50K. So, excuse me, let's look here. I gotta look at Eisenhower stats. I'm not as familiar. So, excuse me, I'm incorrect. So he has negative 5%, as you can see in his penalties. So if you have no bonuses or no deficits in Old South, you would get 50K. But he has negative 5%, so he is at that 45K bonus. No cash disadvantages quite yet. It'll be interesting to see what kind of action we have in here in Florida as the game unfolds. Who will be the first to claim Pennsylvania after that clash? After a quicker turn 4, it looks like turn 5 our competitors are going to take a little more time. Like I mentioned, Zach has played one game, and he beat Austin, aka Crimson Bamboo, in that one game. Austin is sitting at 1-3. He has played the most games, totaling 4. Some people have not yet played a game. Erik is one of them, so he's getting his first game done. As a reminder, how the regular season works, each one of these competitors will face each person in their weight class in their division one time. The rankings will be set, and the top 2 ranked competitors will face in a championship event for the first ever 270 Competitive League Heavyweight Championship. Having only 8 people in their division compared to Bruiserweight that has 13, every game is even more important in this heavyweight class. And with that 5-minute timer, if this game stays competitive throughout, you could see this game maybe going close to an hour. Whereas in the Bruiserweight division, the 3-minute timer, games go quicker, and the Cruiserweight 2-minute timer, even faster. We're getting down to 1 minute left. Arizona and Iowa are the only swing states that have not yet been entered. Zach did challenge here in Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia, so we'll see if he tries to take away that Old South bonus on this turn. Down to the wire here as we approach 30 seconds left. I'm going to guess at least one of these competitors will spend a little less this turn and try to build that cash deficit. We're going all the way down. This is part of that psychological game that Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, might be playing right now. Again, Erik is playing as Eisenhower, and Zach, aka Donut Glazer, is playing as Trump 24. We hit 4 zeros. Let's see what we have. Both players spend most of their money. Arizona entered. Florida defended but nothing going there. Iowa entered. Maryland entered. Michigan challenged by Zach. Mississippi entered. New Hampshire challenged. New York already entered by Erik. Oh, we have a swipe. An awesome swipe there in Virginia. Erik knew it was coming and spent a good amount of money to defend it, but Zach, reading his mind, going 1 pip further to take Virginia and to take that Old South bonus away. What a move there. Huge move to get just that 1 pip ahead. We will see Erik likely take back Old South very soon, as he entered into every other Old South state besides Arkansas. Arkansas is usually forgotten because, as you can see, in every other Old South state, there's at least the AA bonus on top of the Old South, where in Arkansas, it is just the Old South bonus. So you might not see Arkansas until later in the game. I'm surprised Erik went to New York early, but maybe for him it's not early, and maybe he's just faking going to New York for now and planning to save and swipe Florida. But now he's got to consider swiping back Virginia. He's got to beware of Michigan. Pennsylvania, though it shows no action, there was a clash, so both players could advance past the second pip in Pennsylvania. As I am recording this, we are approaching President's Day weekend, and in the 270 app, there will be an in-app tournament where they give out prizes. So if you're watching this, you're probably watching this past President's Day weekend, but I just wanted to highlight that they have in-app tournaments, and they give out subscriptions where you could have access to candidates. They give out free candidates, whereas you have to purchase, legendary candidates and so on. You can earn some for free, or you can earn VPs for presidents. So lots of opportunity to play in the 270 app. Again, on turn 6, we're nearing that 1 minute mark. Though Erik has been accused of wasting that time down to the wire for psychological reasons, he instead insists that he thinks very carefully about every move. I believe he's an accountant, and so he may spend a lot of time doing the math here, seeing his best options. I will explain a little bit about what goes into getting different state groups, as if you're watching this and you're not familiar, you might be wondering how does a person get different state groups. And for me, it took me a while to fully understand it. I thought it had to do with electoral votes, but it does not have to do with electoral votes. We're getting down there. Well, we see all zeros again. If you're a wrestling fan, I think of this like when The Undertaker walks slowly down to the ring to get into his opponent's head. That is what Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, is doing here as we hit zeros again. Here we go. Alabama to the third, Arizona to the third, D.C. entered, and Delaware entered, Iowa to the third, Louisiana challenged by Zach, Maryland challenged, but Erik gets it to the third, as well as Mississippi, Nevada to the third, South Carolina to the third, Virginia trying to get it swiped back is Erik, but it is blocked by Zach. So what do we have? Old South is back, but that big 110K swing state bonus going to Donut Glazer. So, state groups, how are they obtained? Each state group has a certain amount that you need to spend. If you look at the campaign cost, like in Florida, it's $100,000. So if you are to the third pip or further, that is $100,000 that you have toward that state group, swing states. So right now, Zach has the swing state bonus. He has $100K in Florida, plus 24 in Arizona, 17.5 in Nevada, 20K spent in Iowa, 35 in Wisconsin, and 22.5 in Virginia. So the Florida bonus, I believe, is a little over 200K spent. And that's not spent total. Like in Wisconsin, yes, he's gotten third pips, but it's just that campaign cost amount. It doesn't matter after, the certain amount of pips. Once you get to the third pip and beyond, as long as you maintain control of the state, that campaign cost gets added up toward your bonus. So I believe it would have been really close here. If Erik was able to swipe back Virginia, I don't think Zach would have kept that swing state bonus. I'm going to pull up the bonus amounts here on my computer. As we wait, well, we see another 0 timer at the end of this turn. I'm curious to see if Erik decides to go in New York to try to get Town and Gown, but in order to get Town and Gown, he would have to enter into another state. Because if we look, Town and Gown, there are the Town and Gown states. Having New York, New Hampshire, and DC is not enough. So, for example, Town and Gown, in order to get the Town and Gown bonus, you need 200K in campaign costs. New York is 150, New Hampshire is 12.5, so that's 162.5 plus 10, 172.5, so that is not enough for Erik to get Town and Gown on this turn. And in order for that to be counted toward the bonus, again, they need to get to that first long line, to the third pip. We don't see zeros. Let's see what we got. DC challenged. Delaware challenged. Georgia swiped by Zach. A big swipe. Illinois entered. Louisiana defended, but nothing going. Maryland swiped. 2 Old South states swiped. North Carolina, nothing going. South Carolina swiped by 1 pip. It's a swipe fest for Zach. And Virginia is locked in for Donut Glazer. Old South is taken away, and it is now in the possession of Zach. What a round that was for Zach. He had a 1 pip swipe in Georgia, a 1 pip swipe in South Carolina, a 2 pip swipe in Maryland, taking away that Old South, as he has the lead right now in the AA bonus. Let's see who will get that AA bonus first. Do we see Erik here trying to take back that Old South bonus? We are definitely going to see a battle here in AA. Sorry for the pause. Michigan could be a hotly contested state. Let's see what we got. Alabama challenged. Delaware to the third. Florida defended but nothing going. Georgia taken back by Erik. Illinois challenged. Maryland nothing going. Michigan to the third. A swipe there in Michigan. Mississippi challenged. North Carolina locked in. No challenge there. South Carolina defended. Tennessee challenged. So we saw there that for Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, he gets back Old South. Will we see him try to swipe back Maryland as that Old South money begins to run out with states being locked or close to being locked? Right now, things are looking good for Zach, but Erik is a skilled player and is never out of it. Swing bonus is pretty secure for the time being. AA bonus, we could see an attempt here from Zach to get that AA bonus. He would probably need to try to swipe back Georgia or Louisiana, as well as get control of Illinois. Timer approaching 1 minute left. In this heavyweight showdown. We might have to turn this thing into 2 parts. Zach with almost 100K in cash advantage. Are we going to try to see a big swipe here? Maryland is another place to watch. Maryland can be a big factor when you see that high-tech symbol there in the middle in getting California down the line. We're going to go all the way down to zeros, or close to it. Alabama defended, nothing there. DC to the third. Delaware swiped by Erik. Georgia, a swipe attempt blocked by Erik. Maryland, there's a 1-pip swipe, a gutsy swipe, as New York is challenged to finish off the term. A gutsy swipe there. Maryland, I said that is a huge, huge state to get California down the line, and he is able to swipe Maryland by 1 pip. Zach, not expecting it, doesn't defend it. The high-tech bonus, you need $316.25K in campaign cost. Erik's got 150 in New York, now has 35 in Maryland, so look for him. Pennsylvania is the other big high-tech state. We could see action in Pennsylvania. But after that swipe, Zach still has a 200K cash bonus over Erik. Need to keep an eye on that in case that lead in cash starts to expand, as these players might consider entering into Texas or California. Erik has had that 150 in New York and has not done anything with it yet. Has not gone for town and gown. It appears he's trying to slowly set up getting that high-tech bonus. Other states you might see Erik go into to get high-tech: Massachusetts, Utah, Washington. Here are all the high-tech states. So him losing Virginia there was a big loss. Look for him to try to take Michigan as well. We are under 2 minutes left in this turn, in this slower, methodical heavyweight battle. That AA matchup here is getting close after that swipe Erik had in Maryland. Erik could go 2 pips in New York, spend $300K to get that, and he could go 2 pips in Illinois if he does not face challenge. I think that would be enough to get the AA bonus. As long as his other AA states in the Old South and in Delaware and DC would hold. Let's see what we got. Arizona challenged. DC swiped, 1 pip swipe. Georgia locked in. Michigan defended, but nothing going there. New Hampshire to the third. We are going to see New York to the third for Zach. Wow. And Tennessee swipe to the fourth. Zach now a huge round, swiping AA states left and right, picking up the AA bonus for 95K and the town and gown bonus for 63.5K. Erik looking to save up there, and though he does save up, the cash balance is pretty even here still, with that huge turn for Zach, aka Donut Glazer, getting Town and Gown and the AA bonus. There's a chance we might see another low spend here by Erik, as he might have to consider trying to go for the California and Texas route. Or will he try to claw his way back and take that AA bonus away from Zach? As a reminder, Zach is 1-0. Erik, this is his first game. Both players looking to chip away at the lead by the aggressive progressive Rishav, who is 3-0. Both of these opponents still have their shot, their game against Rishav. Clock ticking down. There's a chance we could see some action in Illinois. A big AA state, as you can see as well. Latino agriculture, manufacturing, and export. One of the bigger states to get outside of those big four of California, Texas, New York, and Florida. Right now, Zach has 2 of those big four states, and 2 yet to be entered. And here we go. Florida defended, but nothing going. Maryland locked in, and that's all the money that Erik spends. Let's see where Zach goes. Spending $600K. Mississippi, a swipe. New York, some insurance spent there. So big insurance money spent, as he expected Erik to possibly try to go for the swipe in New York or Florida. But Erik instead, low spends, just locking in Maryland. And I would have to imagine that he is saving up to try to enter into California and Texas, as he is running out of options elsewhere. He has a $956K, but some of that money is tied into that Old South bonus. Look for him on top of possibly entering Texas and California to try to swipe back Mississippi or South Carolina, but he might not have enough money to do all of that. And you might look for Zach to enter into Texas or California to challenge and to try to get 3 corners. Very interested to see what Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, does here. because there's a chance he tries to take back a state like Michigan. But his chances to swipe Florida and New York are growing very slim as Zach spends money to insure those states. By getting both Texas and California, you're usually able to get, well, you will get oil and gas immediately, get Latino immediately. By getting Texas, you have a good route to get that manufacturing base, but as of now, the only manufacturing state that Erik has locked in is North Carolina. So we're going to see some action in Pennsylvania and Illinois for sure. Three state groups for Donut Glazer, playing as Trump. One state group for the Ecuadorean farmer, playing as Eisenhower. The national group advantage also to Zach, evangelical and gun lobby, to the one big conservative bonus for Erik. If a player in this matchup would forfeit, that would count as a submission win. And when we get down to the ranking of players, submission wins hold more weight than a regular win and could be a difference maker in some tough ranking decisions. As we go down all the way to the wire here. Let's see what we got. There's $400K spent in California. Illinois to the third. A swipe there for Zach. Louisiana locked in. Massachusetts entered by Zach. Pennsylvania to the third. So we did have $800K, 200 spent in California, 200 in Texas, as well as locking in Louisiana is Erik. Meanwhile, some major states brought to the third pip for Zach as he gets Pennsylvania to the third and Illinois to the third, making it harder for Erik to get that manufacturing bonus. We will see if Erik has enough money here to spend 200 California and 200 in Texas to get both of those to the third to activate their bonuses. I think right now, let's look at that Latino bonus. Latino, how much do you need to get Latino? You need 408. So right now, the only bonus that Erik would get by getting California and Texas to the third is that oil and gas bonus. He needs another 8,500, which right now he has no other Latino states. This game has been played incredibly well by Zach, especially that turn 10 when he was able to get some big swipes, get that AA bonus, get that town and gown bonus, and then spend that money to make sure that no big swipes came his way. He has the state group advantage, the national group advantage, and he has over 400K in cash advantage. I don't know how much that psychology that Erik uses, draining the clock all the way down, how much effect that has right now on Zach, who must be feeling very confident at the moment. Zach is a member of the 270 community that has contributed so much. Long before I joined the community, he ran one of the most popular monthly tournaments that he just wrapped up. So he is a very well-known member of the community. If you are playing in the game and you are not yet part of that community, just click on the Facebook icon and join the 270 Lounge. There you can find player-run tournaments like the ones Zach has ran and I have ran. Erik, I believe, also has been in the community for a while. I don't believe he runs tournaments, but he is always a feared competitor in any tournament that he joins. Many of you are probably skipping ahead on YouTube, knowing that Erik is going to take all of that 5-minute timer. As we hit all zeros, what do we got? Alabama swiped by Zach. Arizona security there. Nothing going. Arkansas. Entered. California. Colorado and Indiana entered. Massachusetts to the third. New Jersey. A clash in New Mexico. Ohio entered. Texas also to the third. So a bunch of states entered there by Zach. California and Texas are to the third pip. We should see that oil and gas. Oh, he does get agriculture as well. I missed that one. Meanwhile, Zach picks up high tech bonus. 90K in oil and gas for Erik, 65K in agriculture, and 95K in high tech for Zach. As Zach's cash lead continues to grow, and he maintains that state group advantage with 4-3. We could see a ballot push here soon by Zach, aka Donut Glazer, playing as Trump. As a reminder, in order to go to the ballot, there has to be 100 EVs locked in. Right now we have 8 in Louisiana, 16 in Georgia, that's 24, plus another 16 is 40, 53, 63. So we're at 63 EVs right now, so we need more locked in. But with over 1 million, Zach might have enough to enter into most states as well as lock in some to get to that 100 EV mark. this is the point you probably skip ahead to 2+ minutes to get to the end of the turn, because even though it is looking pretty gloomy for Erik, he is using that clock. Down we go to 1.5 minutes. Interesting to see what Erik will plan to do here. You'd have to imagine he has to try to go for a big swipe somewhere. Michigan, Illinois, Pennsylvania. I think this one is in the books, though, so we could see a forfeit, a submission win for Zach. Or we might just see Erik taking that clock down, drawing the game out. The export bonus is out there still, so that could be a bonus that Erik tries to grab by swiping one of those states I just mentioned. Manufacturing also could be swiped. And Latino. Erik probably trying to come up with the best combo to try to take those free bonuses, those open bonuses right now. And here we go. Arizona locked in. Colorado to the third. Connecticut entered. Hawaii entered. Illinois locked in, or not locked in, but defended, but nothing going. Kentucky entered. It looks like we have a possible ballot attempt here from Erik, or at least just trying to get the EVs. Oh my gosh, New Mexico goes all the way to the end, but it is blocked by Zach. Ohio to the third. Oregon challenged. Pennsylvania. So Zach defending all of those big states, but nothing going. Definitely no valid attempt there. Just money spent, but money blocked. As manufacturing base, a huge pickup there for Zach as he gets manufacturing base without Texas. If you look, Texas is by far the biggest state to get manufacturing base, but Zach was able to get it elsewhere, getting every one of those manufacturing base states outside of Texas and Kentucky. Erik did get Zach to spend big in some of those states that Zach was expecting a swipe attempt in, as was I. We'll see what tricks Erik has up his sleeve to try to make this one closer. If I were Zach there, I maybe would have gone for the ballot attempt. It seems like he would have had a path. Maybe that attempt will come shortly. Eric's still draining that clock out. Do we see an attempt at the ballot here to close this game out? As we approach the hour mark of this game. This is a classic Erik the Ecuadorean farmer game. I apologized to Erik and Zach because I was having some technical difficulties with my computer. I apologized for wasting their time. I think I'm going to retract that apology for Erik, as I believe this game is over. But he continues to draw it down. But maybe he sees something that I don't. As we count down from 10. We hit all zeros again. Alabama locked in. Alaska entered. Arkansas entered. Colorado challenged. Connecticut challenged. Idaho to the second. Indiana swiped. Big swipe there by Erik. Kansas entered. Kentucky to the third. Massachusetts defended but nothing going. Michigan locked in. Minnesota a clash, so we will not have a ballot, so we'll get another long timer. Mississippi swiped. Missouri entered. Montana entered. North Dakota, so we did have a ballot attempt here from Zach, but it was blocked in Minnesota and possibly elsewhere. New Mexico locked in for Erik. Oklahoma entered. Pennsylvania defended but nothing going. South Dakota. Utah, nothing going. Vermont entered. Washington passed the third. Wisconsin defended but nothing. And we got West Virginia and Wyoming. So that block in Minnesota, we get another Erik York 5-minute timer, the Ecuadorean farmer. Meanwhile, those remaining state groups are picked up. Erik takes back, or not takes back, he just swipes for the first time the manufacturing base for 82.5 and takes the Latino bonus for 56. Meanwhile, Zach, aka Donut Glazer, picks up export for 55K. So Erik is chipping away, is making it closer as he evens up the state groups. Like I said, you can never count Erik out. He's an Ecuadorean farmer that likes to take his time, look at all of his options. Let's see the states he's entered into. So look for him to enter into those Midwest states that he has not entered into, as well as maybe some East Coast states, as we prepare for a ballot on next turn. as long as Minnesota is claimed by one of them. It'll be interesting to see how much each person goes into Minnesota. If they have the same idea, this game will be drawn out even longer. Ooh, we don't go all the way to zeros. Let's see what we got. There, Erik is entering into some of the states he's not yet in. Connecticut is swiped. D.C. is swiped. Delaware, some defense, nothing going. Illinois locked in, so we're definitely at that 100 EV count. Kansas entered. Kentucky is swiped, so that manufacturing bonus could be coming back. Minnesota, 2 pips from each of them, so we will not have a ballot. This game is not going to be put out of its misery. Montana swiped. North Dakota entered. Nebraska entered. Nevada, some insurance there. New Jersey entered. Ohio swiped. A big swipe by Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, as he swipes Oklahoma too. Enters into Rhode Island and swipes South Carolina. No way. And swipe in South Dakota. Tennessee, nothing going. Vermont entered. Washington insurance there, as well as in Wisconsin. West Virginia entered. And Wyoming swiped. My goodness, Erik is making this a game. Going for the long game, finding the states where Zach doesn't have that bonus money to spend and ignoring those bigger states where he does. I shouldn't have skipped past that. He takes away manufacturing and now has the state group lead. Wow. What a comeback this would be if he is able to pull this off. We are dead even at a $750K in cash. I cannot believe this comeback that we are seeing right now. He takes the 6-4 state group lead. Look for him to spend that Old South money to lock in South Carolina and potentially for Erik to swipe Mississippi. Wow. What will happen in Minnesota? Those votes in Minnesota may end up being huge, may end up being a difference maker, those 10 EVs. I am known to have a curse on players when I say they got a game locked in the game turning on its head, and that curse might be rearing its head again as Erik looks to make a comeback. We saw the last turn end around the 1 minute mark. Will this one go all the way down? Will we see a ballot turn? It all depends what happens in Minnesota. 2 huge swipes to get that manufacturing bonus. Huge swipes in Old South as well, South Carolina, and was able to get some 2-pip swipes entering in to some of these states. I thought this game was all Zach's. I thought the donut Glazer had it locked in, but the Ecuadorean farmer showing that he is never out of it. We're going to see the clock go all the way down. 30 seconds left on turn 17. This could be a pivotal turn. Will the comeback continue? Or will Zach find a way to try to squash the comeback? That psychological warfare back into play. Maybe it was never out of play. Maybe Zach got too confident. Let's see what happens. Alaska, a 1-pip swipe. Colorado, defended by Zach. DC, taken back by Zach. Delaware, taken back by Zach. Iowa entered into. Kansas, a 1-pip swipe there. Massachusetts defended but nothing going. Maine, a swipe there. Minnesota entered in, so those EVs will stay to Zach as he locks in Mississippi too. Missouri entered. North Dakota, 2-pip swipe. Nebraska, 2-pip swipe. We're getting closer and closer to even as Nevada's locked in. New Hampshire, insurance, nothing going. Ohio, locked in. Big spend there in Ohio to lock it in. Oregon, a 1-pip swipe. Rhode Island, another swipe. Are you kidding me? South Carolina is defended and locked in. Utah, nothing going. Vermont, another 1-pip swipe. Wisconsin, nothing going. West Virginia, another 1-pip swipe. And we have a crazy ballot coming your way. Wow. An expertly executed comeback by Erik, the Ecuadorean farmer, as he enters into the ballot turn with a little less than 100K in advantage. A lot of Zach's money. Swing states, well, he'll still get to use that money here. He'll need to defend Iowa, New Hampshire, Wisconsin. Nothing will be going on in Florida. Wow. Town and gown. He does have some money to spend there too. This ballot should be very interesting. I've never witnessed a comeback like this. I think a huge moment was that turn where Zach was expecting, as was I, Erik to go for a big swipe in Illinois or Michigan or Pennsylvania, and instead he didn't. He saved up that money and attacked elsewhere. And now both players, Zach is only 11 votes over 270, while Erik is only 13 away. Can Erik make up that differential? This has to be one of the most nerve-wracking ballots for both of these players. I'm excited to talk to them afterwards and hear their thoughts. As we hit 1 minute left on turn 18, this ballot turn. You have to imagine Erik has to stay consistent here and bring it all the way down. Players are probably at this moment entering, taking back money, second guessing, double checking that they can find their best path to victory. 20 seconds left until this ballot turn goes into action. Will Erik make up the EV difference? Will Zach be able to hold on to that slim lead? Here we go. Arkansas stays to Erik. Colorado, a swipe attempt blocked, stays to Zach. Connecticut, swiped! There's one swipe for Erik as he goes up to 264. DC stays. Delaware stays to Zach. Idaho stays to Erik. Iowa stays to Zach. Kansas, swiped! There's some votes back that Zach desperately needed. He blocks Kentucky as well. Maine he takes back. Zach holding that lead for now. Missouri he keeps. Montana he takes back. New Hampshire stays. New Jersey, a huge swipe in New Jersey. Huge. Oregon, a big swipe back for Zach. These fighters are going back and forth. Vermont, a swipe by Zach. Washington, a big swipe in Washington. Wisconsin stays. It's not enough. Wow. Zach able to hold on to the lead. Erik taking every second of almost every turn to meticulously make his comeback. And he falls just a handful of EVs short. What a match between these heavyweights. Erik, aka the Ecuadorean farmer, falling in his first match against Zach, aka the Donut Glazer, 273 to 256.